Thank you. Thanks, everyone. All right, here's the deal. I hate waste. Hate it. Huge pet peeve. And we do it all day long. We allow technology to distract us, and we end up being busy and not focused on our most important work. And what's the impact to all of you when you have less time in your day? Time with family, your health, your overall success. And here's the deal, it is completely within your control to take back time, and I'm going to share some simple but very powerful advice with you to help you do just that. Sound good? Interested? Awesome? Yes, good, love it. So as a productivity consultant, I help my clients maximize what I think are your 3 most valuable resources. Have you ever stopped to think, what are my 3 most valuable resources in a business environment? And I'll give you one hint, they start with a T. I call them the 3 T's. What do you think they are? Time, talent, awesome. Nobody ever gets talent, yeah. And then technology. So time, talent, and technology. So time, hands down, most valuable resource. You use it, you lose it. No buying back time. Technology is one of our most underutilized resources, and we live in an amazing age. We have such power at our fingertips, and we're barely scratching the surface of using technology. So I hope you're all coming to my breakout session, and we're going to talk about how to leverage technology to drive productivity. But when you maximize your time and you maximize your technology, then you have all this time back and you can maximize your talent. So each and every one of you is brilliant. You've got some skill or you wouldn't be sitting in these chairs today. So you're a really good salesperson or innovative thinker. And our goal is that you're maximizing your talent in the organization and not just responding to emails. So if you don't believe me that there's lots of opportunity, I'm going to share a quote from the Wall Street Journal. They have a little bit of street cred. And the Wall Street Journal says that office workers, so all of us, are wasting about half our workday because we weren't taught organizing skills to deal with the demands of today's environment. So this is talking about organizing your data, organizing your to-do list, your priorities. So I have awesome job security, lots of opportunity. So I share this with you, though, not to make you feel defeated. I share it with you because I want you to know there's tons of opportunity for you. And we've gotten whole companies to a 30% increase in productivity. We've gotten individuals to a 40% increase. So lots of opportunity there. So tell me if this sounds like your day. You wake up in the morning and you're thinking, yeah, I think I'm going to work on that one project today. And then you grab your phone and you check email, and before you know it, your customers are dragging you down a rabbit hole, and your team members are changing your priorities for the day. Does that sound familiar for most of you? We call that the tail wagging the dog. So your brain is no longer in charge of your day, and that's not what we want. What's happening is that you're being busy and not necessarily being productive. So 2 simple tips for you. 1, recognize that when you respond to an email, you're helping someone else be productive. Now, I'm not giving you authority to never respond to them, but it's about balancing your needs and the needs of others. 2nd tip, the Pareto principle is our best friend. So those of you in sales may often think of Pareto, the 80-20 rule. Who are the 20% of the customers that give us 80% of the revenue? I want you to do the same thing with your time. I want you to think about what are 20% of the tasks that I should focus on that will get me that 80% return on my limited time. So one of the very best things you can do is have a plan. Because if you do not have a plan for the day, if you don't identify your top 3 priorities for the day, email will most certainly be your plan. There's a great story about Charles Schwab. If you don't believe me, the power of something simple like this. Schwab hired a productivity consultant just like me. Just like today, they came in and gave a bunch of ideas. And leadership within Schwab said, of all the things we heard today, we're going to do 2 things. It's going to be mandatory. Every single one of our employees is going to identify their top priorities, and they're going to do it first before they do anything else. And that's how Schwab skyrocketed to great success. Google it. It's a great story. But here's the deal. When Schwab started, the world wasn't quite so crazy and busy. I'm going to guess most of you have back-to-back meetings and 0 white space on your calendar. Does that feel like your life? Yeah, it's pretty much the norm. So the other thing you need to do is you've got to block time, proactively block time on your calendar to do your most important work. We call it focus time. And here's the deal. It's not just any old time of the day, because I know all of you, you'll block 4 o'clock in the afternoon when the office is quiet, emails aren't coming in, but most of you are morning people. So we want you to block the time of day when your energy is the highest, when you can do your best work. So I'll give you an example. I'm a morning person, and I learned years ago that if I read something, if I read it in the afternoon, all I can do is read. That's it. If I read in the morning, I can analyze it, I can problem solve, and I can come back with a bunch of recommendations on something to do. So I'm much more efficient with my time. So there's certain things I should do early morning. That's what we want you to do. Now the other thing you have to do is you've got to shut down the noise. When you're focused on something, let's say during focus time, you're focused on your strategic plan or something, you're wrapping your head around it, and then you get that instant message that pops up and somebody has a couple questions about the project you're working on. So you spend about 5 minutes over answering the questions, and then you come back to your strategic plan. Do you know how much time on average you lose? Not for the 5 minutes you spent over here working on it, but coming back and having to backtrack and start over? Any guesses? How much time do you lose on average when you're interrupted? An hour, not quite that bad, but that's a good guess. There's lots of studies on this. According to the University of California, Irvine, on average it's about 23 minutes. So it's like 2 steps forward, 1 back the entire day. Pretty easy to see how the Wall Street Journal gets to a 40% opportunity. So here's the deal. You've got to turn off the ping. It is really difficult to ignore the ping. Has anybody heard of phantom texting? Phantom texting is when you think you hear a ping because you want to hear a ping. Is that crazy? It's a crazy world, yeah. So there's 3 reasons it's hard to ignore the ping. Any guesses? Anxiety? I don't have that one listed, but that's probably a good one. Yeah. There's 3 reasons it's hard to ignore the ping. 1, it's like Pavlov's dog at this point. We are used to hearing a bell and responding. And trust me, it's much easier to turn off your notifications than break that habit. That's tricky. The second, it's FOMO. It's a fear of missing out. It's the reason Facebook is a $1 billion business. We all want to know what's going on, and so we get lured into it. And then the third is when you cheat and do something you're not supposed to do. So you're supposed to be working on something horribly boring, like invoicing, and you hear the ping and you think, I'm just going to check email really quick. You actually get a mini high from actually cheating. So you guys are getting each other high all day long with the ping, 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 ping. It is literally a crazy, crazy world. All right, so I helped a client with the 3 T's. What are the 3 T's? Awesome, you guys are so good. Time, talent, technology. And this gentleman now has 2.5 more hours in his day. 2.5 more hours in his day. And that's not even the best part. He has sustained this for 7 years. And that's only a 30% bump in productivity. The Wall Street Journal tells you 40% is possible. So here's my question for you. What would be the impact to the financial bottom line of your business if you had 2.5 more hours in your day?